What is up, bros? Me Josh here, and welcome to this week's episode of Weekly Replays, our series where we take one of your replays each week, break it down, show some in-game analysis, and just go over some crazy good games in World of Warships. This week we have actually a clanmate of mine, Redlewis, with a Massachusetts on one of my favorite maps in this entire game, which is Trident. I think Trident is a fantastic mix of island cover with still not being too big of a map. I think this map really kind of focuses on pushing in towards the center of the map, so I always like that. And obviously, Trident, while playing the Massachusetts, is just this perfect mix, as well as being top tier and against the CV, so especially against Lexington. So you have this perfect storm. If you haven't ever used the Massachusetts or have the Massachusetts, he has the cooler version, the USS, the black version, and I think the camos on that looked amazing. You could get on the Black Friday events. Also, a lot of the CCs were giving away Black Friday containers that had them in there as well. But the Massachusetts is pretty much in a USS Alabama, but the trade-off that you have with this ship, and sorry about the replays with the spotter plane, that's just the replay system we have, is you trade some Sigma value for better secondaries. And what that means is you have worse Sigma, so inconsistency of your salvos, but you have better secondaries. And if you've ever played the Massachusetts, you know for sure that the secondaries are out of this world, and would even make a Tirpitz blush a little bit. So the secondaries on the Massachusetts, I find the Massachusetts to be one of the most fun Tier 8 battleships, if not one of the most fun battleships in this game. It's one that I always recommend, especially if somebody is looking for a good Tier 8 or just a USN trainer for their battleships. But it's such a good ship. Now, you do lose a little bit on the guns, with the loss of the Sigma, so it's not quite as good, as consistent, but it's still a battleship, and you'll still get salvos just like that, where you can hopefully obliterate this cruiser. But Massachusetts loves getting into brawls. Now, the majority of the secondaries are going to be on the sides. There's not a lot of front-facing secondary, so that is a bit of a bummer when it comes to USM playstyle. But one of the great things about the USS Massachusetts is you can, use your guns on one target and secondaries on another. That's when those full secondary builds are really into effect and can really get you a lot of just passive damage when it comes to other games. I always like builds or characters that just give you passive damage without you really having to do anything. That's one of the main things that's a little I guess would kind of be tough as a USS Massachusetts captain, is that you need kind of just the base start of the captain, a higher skill. So this is one captain that personally I don't even take Concealment Expert on. I take Concealment Expert on nearly all my battleships, but this is definitely one of them that I don't, because I want AFT first. I want to get inertia fuse as well as manual secondaries. So you tend to get, that's an 18-point captain just right there, and you just don't have any room for anything else. So you go full, in my opinion, this is my playstyle, you go full secondaries on this. So inertia fuse, AFT, manual secondaries, you want this thing to be full blown. And it looks like he might be, although his secondaries aren't going off, with the replay, we probably won't see him actually clicking on things. So we aren't quite sure. 14.5, he obviously doesn't have Concealment Expert, but we aren't seeing the secondaries pop off, although most of them are on the sides of the ship and not on the front. So there we go. We'll start seeing some secondary damage right there. But getting top tier on Trident in the USS Massachusetts is like the perfect storm to just have a good game, because really within the effective area of this map, your secondaries can almost cover the majority of it. So that's awesome. And only having one DD, this is next level matchmaking wonderfulness, and you can just see him kind of start popping off. And really on this side, there's not too much he has to worry about, but one thing he does need to keep an eye on is that CV. So it looked like the CV was semi-competent, has a kill already. It does have AP bombs, which will hurt, and just, I mean, even though the Massachusetts is a USM battleship, so the AA is overall pretty dang solid, you can still get dropped on and still take that damage. So it's good he's not really pushing too aggressively, and there we go. Even though it does have a tad lower Sigma, you still can get those shots to almost swipe battleships off the planet. So not too bad. His team is getting picked on a little bit. That's what you kind of get with games like this. So it's all about the big top tier ships he's looking at. We really haven't seen too much out of his CV. I don't know if his CV's been trying to go for strikes or whatever, but here you can see the difference between CV going for ships and a CV going for strikes. As you see, their CV is hitting the middle of the map, actually dropping ships. Obviously has a kill already, and there's a kill for red right there. And his CV is trying to be super sneaky and go outside. Usually when you're trying to be super sneaky and go outside, most of the time the CV is trying to 200 IQ, a 100 IQ situation, and is just wasting time. He would have been much better just battling it in the middle, maybe getting the fighters over red or using some of the other high AA ships that are on this map. But right now it looks like I'm interested to see if he just got his fighter. Yeah, he did. So they are at a big disadvantage when it comes to CVs right now. It looks like reds doesn't know how to strafe at a tier 8 CV. That's never what you want to see. And theirs definitely knows what he's doing. And there is the the forever question: do I finish off this cruiser and get yelled at by someone for kill stealing, or do I finish, or do I throw a shot at that CV? I think he's fine. The right thing, he's been playing this pretty he's been playing this good so far. He's a little bit worried about that that drop from the CV, which I don't blame him. But right now what he needs to do is start getting some pressure towards the north side. If he does that, then he can open up his DD and to go towards the CV if they want to put some pressure on that. But if he pushes a tad north, which he's doing right now, which is fantastic, getting right into this area, he kind of holds down the middle. And what, King George and a Prince Idle Frederick, are they going to push into a Massachusetts? They're going to have a tough time, but he needs to be that leading force as a top tier ship to bring his team back, which he's actually doing. So he's going to start shredding some planes here as well and getting that Lexington in range. But this is a perfect example too of what he could have done, is just getting his secondaries on the Chappie and actually put a shot into the Lexington. That's what I would have done. Even though this is a radar ship, it's not focusing on anything. I would have actually used this salvo towards the Lexington. That's the good part. His secondaries, especially if he has manual, would have, and his secondaries end up to getting the kill anyway. So that was probably a missed opportunity right there. Or just putting into he actually might be AA builds on this. Maybe he has AFT with the AA modules and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure because his secondaries have been going off, but he might be AA. I'm gonna have to ask him if he was AA, because he is absolutely shredding tier 8 planes. Not too surprising out of a USM battleship, but that's a lot. That's a lot of planes. So he might be like a full AA build, which if he is, he's lucked out, but won't get the full optimization of the ship. So people always ask me people always ask me what's the right kind of targeting this. See, I think he should have just let your CV take this Bismarck. You don't really worry about it. For me, I would have stayed north side right here, and I would have put salvos into Lexington. So maybe a bit of misplay, but if he's going to rotate back, he can clean these up, and then afterward, he does have a little bit of a, what's the right way to say, he can be a bit more comfortable if he is a full-blown AA ship, because if you're fully blown AA, I wouldn't say you're undroppable, but the amount of damage you will take from the drops is pretty low. Already 100k damage, close quarter combat, which you'll see a lot with this ship, and 2 kills. So he's bringing his team back, but they're still consistently down, so he needs to find the right targets. I would have probably put 2 salvos into Lexington already, put some damage on it, and gotten those secondaries on the Prince Idle Frederick and the King George. This is something I was a little worried about too, not knowing where that Benson was. Their CV has done a pretty poor job at keeping anything spotted. I just think here comes the strafe right here, so that's always a bummer to see. One CV knowing how to strafe and the other not, instantly at a disadvantage. So a bit of a bummer, but he wants to get centralized on this map, and that's always what you do with a relatively high AA ship. He got pretty lucky. One set, the Benson dropped him too early. He might have. And here we go. And honestly, in games like this, I mean, it's good to protect your CV, but it's also good not to waste too much time on potentially a player that really isn't worth it. I know that sounds pretty brutal to say, but I think it would have been a better change of going. It would have been a better use of time trying to take out the ship that is affecting the game, which is their CV, then trying to kill a ship that's having little impact on the game, which is their CV. Now, he might get a auto drop right there, and if he can maybe get this Leander, it can help over time. But I feel like some damage into their CV would have put them a bit more on the defensive. And really, he's in such a weird spot right now, having to push this Benson. Although Benson torps aren't too damaging compared to other ones. I mean, I guess they're all right. But he's definitely in a weird spot. And also, I need to see what kind of captain build he had, because in there, the Benson. Now watch his secondary. His secondary should absolutely obliterate. He must be full AA because he's obliterating planes. But those secondaries are going to go off. It's basically like a Atlanta almost, and there's a second close quarter combat. And right now, if I'm red, I just really kind of push. This is where the Massachusetts is going to do 1 billion damage a second. He luckily did not take a flood right there. If he would have taken a flood, that would have been very awkward. But Matsu right here, no big deal. Some pretty light armor. And here he just pushes. So finishes the King George, keeps angled, and you're going to see these secondaries go absolutely ham. They're going to attack him. Maybe he does have manual secondaries because they're only focused on that one ship. It's interesting. He must have just got some really good AA rolls when it came to it. So there's the secondaries. I love the Mass. This is one of my most recommended ships. It's so much fun. It does have a bit, as I said earlier, there's the Crack-a-Lackin', which we love to see. It does have a tad higher of an entry level for captain skills, really getting the full use out of those. But overall, you can really just get into this if you have a 10-point captain, 14-point. Best part about this is the ability to... Now, he does need to be a little careful about the New Mexico. Looking at the scores really quick. New Mexico doesn't have any kills, but still broadside New Mex on a battleship can still definitely hurt. He's very lucky because of AP bombs. And the Massachusetts tend to just do overpen damage. They still hurt, but he's just shredding planes. I love it. I love it. The perfect ship for the perfect map for the perfect matchmaking. Team was going down, but he's not gonna let him and just bring it back. I don't think there was a better ship he could have been in this game, honestly. For what he needed to do, I think the Massachusetts was the best ship he could have had. Getting in there, 125 and counting, over 150 now, 25 plane kills, 2 close quarter combats. Yeah, you get the other New Mexico. Ah, there he is. And yeah, he is talking. This is perfect too. All you kind of have to do is just sail broadside to this New Mexico. He's just shooting HE, no camo, nothing really to worry about. You just sail right into the corner. He got the middle cap too. What a dream battleship. This is perfect. And he's not fully secondaried out. I wonder if he has the AA module, because that New Mexico would still be in secondary range. So kind of interesting. So he's either missing AFT or the module, and maybe the module, because that secondary range is pretty far for the Massachusetts. So but anyways, secondaries are going to start popping off now though, and again, just gonna rip up 200k damage. That's always what you want to see when it comes to it. And New Mexico will just take big damage. He switched to AP though, so he got kind of lucky. Man, he could have had a 7-kill game. So he can just keep pushing towards this, and there you go. Hopefully the CV will send him some more planes, because he'll really get that, as he's all excited, we'll get that base XP up. So, I mean, look at that. Like, this is the strength of this ship. Not only were his main guns going, where he got 4 citadels, main guns pumping out damage, but the secondaries were pumping out damage as he got 2 close quarter combat medals. So they were doing damage for him, that passive damage I was talking about. And on top of that, he's a great AA platform with 32 planes against tier 8. And there you go, he's going to get some free farm. So he just wants to stay full speed right here, get into that, and if he can, get those secondaries in. Trying to judge where it will be is always a bit of a tough one. For Lexington, it's pretty tough. He looks like he's going to be just out of his secondary. But yeah, nice. He's going to get fed more planes, which is awesome. And good little gust on that shot as well. 242,000 damage. Going to shred some more planes as well. He doesn't really care. It's not going to one-shot him. And look at the A. Still go. And he actually got maybe a little lucky that the New Mexico didn't continue to shoot HE, because he just shredded some more of his AA and secondaries. So feed him the XP. There's a 4th one as well. 5th, 6th. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. And will he get the 7th? Damn, he's basically shredded every squad that's come towards him. So almost 40 planes. Oh, it feels good. Oh, he'll easily get 40 then, unless if somebody blops him off the planet. But overall, just a fun game. This ship is so good. I love it. Highly recommend it. There it is. There's the 40. I haven't gotten one of those in a long time. I tend to not run AA planes, but this guy has kind of fed it to him. And there we go. Boom. Could have got an 8-kill game, actually. So awesome to Redlewis, a clanmate of mine. So I think this is probably one of his best games ever. But there you go. Massachusetts B, 250, almost 4,000 damage. 41 plane kills, a bunch of main battery hits, 6 kills, could have actually got 8. 5 citadels captured, assisted captured, 162 target hits on the secondaries as well. That just shows the strength of this ship, both with main battery and secondary, as well as AA. Just well-rounded. You got the 40 planes of reward, as well as Confederate, 2 close quarter combats, high caliber, and the crack-a-lack, which we'll love to see. But look at that base XP. That's that plane XP. Plane XP just doesn't really have a cap, so the more planes you shoot down, the more XP you're going to get. 6 kills, 41 planes, 3,500 base XP. Anytime you get above 2,000, that's awesome. Every time you get above 3,000, that's a screenshot. So definitely worth showing off. So 3,500, a perfect storm of matchmaking, map, and the perfect ship, while the CV just fed you some XP throughout the entire game. So perfect little storm that he took advantage of, and GG's to him and his team. Look at those top guys right there. 11 kills out of the top 3 people. GG easy. There's a nice little spread of the damage done. Just very, very even throughout multiple ships. And I believe that is 32,700 is the exact life that Pensacola had. So feels bad, man, for him. But anyways, that was Redlewis from the North American server playing the Massachusetts B and just kicking some ass, really. Just kicking some ass in that ship. I love it. Hope you guys enjoy that ship as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay and the weekly replay of the week. Again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the Massachusetts B. Do you guys enjoy it, and how much fun is it for you? Also, if you are interested in being part of the weekly replays, you can always put your replay and with the screenshots in my Discord. We pick one a week. Winner gets 1,000 doubloons. This week being Redlewis from North American Silver. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next week. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.